You are listening to a production of
Sana Madoda Kubura.
Camera speed.
Sound production, take one. Take two.
Action!
We all know there's something that needs addressing every day. But here's Thursday's take. My name is Uyahlanya, but you can call me Stana. And really, the take of it all is, what if I told you Uyahlanya? Not in a dictionary type of understanding, no. Like Uyahlanya, if I had to tell a friend and they think it's a joke, but also Uyahlanya, if I had to tell a stranger and it wouldn't end well. Okay, maybe let me dial it back. We are losing a sense of self-expression. Sidlala or copycat. We all look the same, we do the same things. It's more like repetition. So what would you say if I told you you're crazy? Because look around. We're all living in a type of matrix. I don't want to go here, but remember when Neo was breaking out the matrix and he had that moment of realizing that actually, no, man, he's living in a world that's controlled by some kind of system. Yeah, I think that's us. We dress the same, we say the same things, we even chase the same trends. Even though we try to be different, we actually end up blending into another group that's just doing something that's different. We are stuck in a loophole. It's like we don't even have minds of our own. We're being guided, influenced, controlled by something bigger. Maybe not something bigger, but I promise you guys, it's something. There's social media, there's culture, there's the way we've been taught, there's even our personal experiences. They all feed into this type of sameness. And I mean, there's a lot of debate around this. You can argue whatever you feel, and it's exactly why I had your takes. We're living in a copy-paste world. I see it, I want it, I got it, I do it. And that cycle, it just keeps repeating. One way, one way. But here's what's interesting. With your takes, I got to understand, actually, maybe I'm not that crazy, but actually, right, maybe Uyahlanya. An interesting take that I had is someone said, if you told me I'm mad, it wouldn't be new. I've heard it so many times, but instead of being offended, it makes me relax. It reminds me I'm human, I'm allowed to be myself, even if it means being others. And even if that sense of self doesn't fit, it's okay. But for me, madness is freedom, a space to exist without pretending, because we're actually all doing the same thing. So why would you judge me? Then another person said, well, if we didn't press the undo button, society would breed individuals with a strong sense of self. Imagine that, undoing the copy paste. And suddenly everyone is living authentically and not pressured to fit in. Someone else added, young people would free themselves and find themselves more easily without the constant pressure to conform. A vision of liberation, identity without the weight of living this sameness. My wildest take came from my old parent. She said, consider people we label as mentally incapacitated, those with schizophrenia, ADHD. What if they think we're the ones that are not necessarily in our right minds? That flips the whole conversation. Who gets to define madness? Maybe the so-called mad are actually the ones who see clearly. Maybe we are the ones stuck in the matrix and they escaped. Hey, I thought it was a bit far-fetched, but wait, this might actually come in somewhere. So here's the dilemma. Some say blending in is fine. It's community, it's relationality. Some of the things I spoke about last week, yeah, I get that. Last week, I did say that we are nothing without our communities. Communities thrive on doing the same things, the same norms, being raised the same way, having the same experiences. And the sameness isn't madness in those communities. It's a form of survival. It's a form of identifying oneself and being a part of something. Now, here's my catch. A part of something. Why do I want to be a part of something? Why are we all fitting in? But this is where I say it's madness. We're all wearing the same tights that define our buttocks in the gym. And don't get me wrong, Bafazi, you look great. But it's the same matcha, it's the same skincare brand, it's the same hairstyle, it's the same taper fade, it's the same leather jacket. Even in our pursuit of being different, we all still fall into a sameness. It's like we're in a sort of psychosis of modern identity. And social media, it just amplifies it. But we're taught to follow, not to question. And personal experience, it reinforces what we see because everyone around us is doing the same thing and it feels normal. But is it? What if I told you Uyahlanya? So maybe it's not an insult, maybe it's an invitation. I'm inviting you to press the undo button, to step outside your copy paste world, to reclaim identity as something lived and not replicated. Don't play copycat. Now you might be asking yourself, where's Donna going with all of this? I really don't want to get too grave, but living in a copy paste world, it really creates pre-planned personalities. I can't even begin to tell you how much I've seen so many Leratos, even though your name is not Lerato. So many Tabos, even though your name is not Tabo. Everyone has a template for how to live. It's so performative. It's getting quite tiring. And yeah, sometimes sameness can look glamorous. But let's say you're not part of that sameness. You're not part of that glamorous lifestyle. You're not part of the people who get the matcha, have the trendy hairstyle. It breeds a sort of pressure for society. We get very anxious with what we have to do next. Your dreams are now defined by other people's expectations because of they're doing the same thing. You start putting timelines as your friend. You start even redefining your goals to make them more society appropriate. And in a sense, you become shallow. You become very shallow. You stop showing up as umuntu. You stop showing up as an individual who can define their own path. We lose you, Gakul. You even stop creating. You stop creating, innovating, coming up with something that quite honestly, the 8-year-old self could think, wow, that would break the world. You go into what we say, ulahla plot. You lose the plot completely. And by the end of the day, you're going to sit with yourself and find that you're not satisfied with anything you're doing. And quite frankly, you find yourself really exhausted because you're trying to fit into a puzzle. And it goes back to how some people are constantly complaining about a degree they never even wanted to do in the first place, but still do it because, well, oh, being a doctor will get me money. That actually kind of ties back to maybe we do the same thing to fit into community because it's survival. But I still say, what is survival if you lost yourself? And another person can say, there's no time to be finding myself. I just have to live. That was not that was literally not the point of the human experience. It takes away so much and it actually just leaves you so destitute. And then the person who was chasing for validation, in whatever sense, doesn't even want the validation anymore. They just really want to get through the day. And I know it's quite difficult for people to say, I'm actually leaving this matrix, I'm leaving this copy-paste world, and I'm doing my thing. So how do we start? We start with conversation. We start speaking to each other and engaging because at least a different type of perspective will try to indicate that you are leaving this copy-paste world. You are undoing this replication and you're stopping to be a copycat. But I really don't have anything else to say because it's not to direct you where to go, but a moment of reflection because we are self-deterministic and anything that you do is within your own will and your own capacity. But before we wrap up, I've been trying to get different takes with an Instagram prompt question, but I think maybe just introducing next week's episode will get us to actually have more takes. So maybe in the comment section, But yeah, next week's episode will be what is the standard? The question is, what is the standard? We'll be talking about different beauty standards, but not in the conventional type of way, but where they come from, because they impact us in so many ways. One time, being plump is okay, being plump is not okay, dark skinned is okay, being dark skinned is okay, but they're influenced by different types of takes. And I think there's a whole lot of gender polarization things that we can go into. And this is exactly why there'll be a part 1 and a part 2. So don't forget, we drop every second Thursday. Part 1 next the other Thursday will be men's perspective on what is the standard. So we're having our first episode where we're bringing in people and actually having conversation, like I mentioned last week. And then part 2 will be on women as a wrap up. So not just a monologue from me, not just my takes, bringing more voices into the take of it all. But really, here's my take. What's yours?
Okay, that's a wrap.